Hello and welcome to my Elite Dangerous, the day-to-day grind preparing for fleet carriers, cargo missions, Sothis and Ceos. Well, the reason this is preparing for fleet carriers because we need all the credits we can get. Everybody's cramming for credits. And we're making roughly 15 to 22 million per load on most of the time. Every once in a while we'll have a 7 or 8 million, but those are kind of rare. And we're making them pretty fast. If I didn't have to do videos and I didn't have to do editing and I didn't have to publish the videos, I could do about 15 to 17 million average every 15-20 minutes. And I think within a 6-hour day I could have roughly $500 million or 500 million credits. So that's really what it's all about. It's this grind to gather as many credits as possible. And even if you have the credits, it could leave you short for in the future. Because right now I have almost 8.3 billion. If we could buy the fleet carriers today, I'd be down to 3.3 billion. Also, I'd need to transfer some funds into the balance of the fleet carrier. So, let's say 1.288 per se, put it in there. So I only have 2 billion left. So, transferring my ships over, transferring my 72 modules over, that all takes credits. And then I'm looking at, that might not be enough. I mean, all I'm going to have left in my main account is about 2 billion. I mean, what if I want more ships? And they're talking planetary bases and space legs. What credits are going to be needed there? So the grind continues. We found out on March the 26th the price for the fleet carrier would be 5 billion. The upkeep for it would start at 10 million. But the more services that you have, it could rise to 25 million a week. That's per week. 10 million to 25 million a week. So that's even if you're not in the game. If you're one of these players that just casually play every once in a while, it's every week, 24/7, 365. Yes, you can suspend your services and it will cut back on the cost, but it doesn't eliminate them. And services that are available are like refueling, repairing, restocking, remote workshop, outfitting, shipyard, probably the advanced maintenance, the commodities market. So you can buy and sell trade to everybody if you wish, or just a squadron, or a squadron and friends, or just friends. Or you have the station just to yourself. So it can be a money pit or a credit pit. There is no universal cartographics at this time, and the explorers are having a fit. But what's interesting, you can turn in bounty vouchers to your fleet carrier. And there'll be a fleet carrier vendor, and it'll show up in contacts 12 or 13 stations. I mean, it's not going to be in every station, but there's 12 or 13 stations around the galaxy that you can buy from. And I'm hoping there's going to be one out here in Sothis and Ceos, because we're 550 light years from anybody. out here. We're on the edge of the bubble. And on the opposite end of the bubble than most of the other civilized or populated or inhabited systems. So hopefully we get one out here, because I want to plant my fleet carrier out here near Sothis and Cios. Okay. Get my notes. They'll be sold to individuals, not groups. An individual can open his fleet carrier up to the groups, our friends, but it's on an individual basis. The fleet carrier can jump a maximum of 500 light years, but it has an hour charge up period and it has an hour cool down period. So for every jump, no matter how small, or up to 500 light years, there's a 2-hour total wait period. At that mention the fleet carrier vendor, he'll have a showroom that you can kind of look over. There's like 4 different types of fleet carriers. There's the default, there's the trader, there's the miner, there's the explorer, and there'll be a showroom that you will be able to see them from the place that you would buy them, from the fleet carrier vendor. Okay, there'll be 8 small bays, there'll be 4 medium bays, and there'll be 4 large bays. There'll be a total of 16 bays for landing bays. When you land on your fleet carrier, there's going to be like a services, like this thing here, but it's going to be called Fleet Carrier Management. So you manage the fleet carrier from this a screen. So you can pick things for it to do. You're not actually flying the fleet carrier. You have a crew that you're paying for. That's part of the upkeep. A crew that flies and takes care of the services. You're just managing. And you can even do this remotely. Is this right? So you see 3 buttons here. Well, up here there's 2, but there's going to be a 3rd one in the middle if you have a fleet carrier, and it'll be called Fleet Carrier Management. So even remotely, you can manage your fleet carrier and have it to jump to certain places and things like that. It only has a 1,000 ton fuel tank, and for every light year it takes a ton of tritium. Now, people are just guesstimating based on it's a derivative of hydrogen and lithium and maybe some helium, and based on other fuels that have like hydrogen derivative, they kind of expect it'll be between 50 and 90 credits per ton, so which would be pretty inexpensive. For a 500 light year jump, it would cost you 45,000 credits, which in the whole scheme of things, since you're paying $5 billion for the fleet carrier and you're paying 10 to 25 million per week, 45,000 for a 500 light year jump is probably not that bad. So you can buy the fuel, the tritium, and you can mine it from icy asteroids, from icy rings, or different asteroid areas, like an asteroid belt. Surface mining and subsurface, both. And they make it sound like, because the times that you'll be mining is when you're away from the bubble, it sounds like it'll be cheap enough within the bubble because of all the stations that it's probably cheaper to, or less hassle too, to actually purchase it. Now I'm going to do some asteroid mining, surface, and I haven't done subsurface yet, but I'm going to have to find out how to do that. And then we'll have to practice it and make sure I can actually do it. But in the beginning, I will probably purchase about 11,000 tons. So that would give me 11,000 total jump. Now, not a single jump range, but I'll have fuel for 11,000 light years away from where I've started. You will have a cargo area of 25,000. Now, some of that's taken up by your ships and your your stored modules, and all of your services will take some of that. That's weight on the fleet carrier. It's 25,000 tons. But you can deposit tritium through the tritium depot. You can transfer cargo to your fleet carrier. You can transfer credits to your fleet carrier. You can take credits, you can take cargo from it, those types of things. You do have a livery. My current ship, the Python, I'll let you see that, is kind of a cobalt color, and it has fins on the side and a spoiler in the back, and so does my cutter. It looks, I mean, it's a different ship, but the same color, fins, has fins on the side and spoiler in the back. You'll also be able to have paint jobs on your fleet carrier. This is cobalt, so I'm probably going to do cobalt for the fleet carrier too, and there are some side fins that you can get for it that I've seen pictures of, so I'll probably do that. And I don't know if there'll be a spoiler in the back, but if there was, I'd probably do that. That way they kind of uniformity with all of my ships, because this is a ship. It's just like a motorhome. It's a place you live, you keep all your ships in it, everything is there, your stored modules, everything. They have secure trading. That's if you want to buy and sell illegal cargo. It's secure because the security forces cannot scan the fleet carrier. They can't inspect the fleet carrier. It's kind of off limits. Now, the factions can wind up knowing about it because of you buying and selling or trading, having a market of illegal stuff. So it can force down your reputation, but you cannot be fined. You cannot be destroyed or have a bounty on you because your fleet carrier has illegal cargo. As I mentioned before, you can have squadron only, you can have friends only, you can have squadron and friends, you can open it up to everybody or open it up to nobody except for yourself. There are several versions, like in the showroom you have the Explorer, the Miner, the Trader, and Trader, Miner, Explorer default is the ones you pick from, and I think I did mention that earlier. And I mentioned there's no universal cartographics, but there is the bounty. There's no support ships. Your ships are the support ships. It does the transporting of goods. Your friends on your squadron can deposit goods onto your fleet carrier, but there's no separate support ships. I mentioned the fleet carrier is indestructible. There in 2 days, April the 7th, there'll be a PC beta, and it will start at 11 UTC, which is 5 a.m. Central Time in the US. I am going to be a part of that beta. I'm not really sure if how they're going to limit who can beta test. They had mentioned you had to have the credits, but in the past on upgrades it's usually about 10% of the worth, so that would be like 500 million. So maybe if you have a balance of over 500 million, you can beta test, or they might stick to their guns and you have to have 5 million. Now normally they take a snapshot of the system and set up a separate server for the beta test, and then they add all the new updates to it, and then you play it and see if they break. And usually it's 2 weeks prior to the beta when they take that snapshot. So 2 weeks ago I had probably 6.3, and I have grinded another 2 billion since then. So at worst case it's 6.3, takes 5 for the fleet carrier. I have 1.3. I can put probably 750 million in the balance, and I'm not sure how long the beta is going to last. Now in May they have a beta for PC users and console users. The one on April the 7th is only PC. A lot of this we'll know it when we get on it. We'll start to understand what we can do after we go to the showroom and they explain it. And is this right? It'll be in the player's handbook, a lot of the details. So there'll be a tab that says fleet carriers, so you can go there and find some information. So everybody's going to be cramming for information on how to do things, because Frontier really hasn't answered all the questions, and it's probably created more questions than it has solved. And you'll be hiring and firing crews and things like that if you're not satisfied with them, or they happen to do something that you really don't like. You can fire them and hire new ones. So I'm not sure what that's going to mean. I'm not going to have a lot of services myself. Like I said, it's just a extremely large ship for all my stuff, and that will be my home base. Sis left. I'm kind of hanging out right now at Sothis and Cios. I like it out here because it's so far from everything else. See, the first systems, humanity, is about 500 light years away. And I'm hoping there's going to be a fleet carrier vendor out here either in Cios or Sothis. I want to hit that again, because I want to go over here. This is going to be the home of my carrier. It's only 18 light years from Sothis and 25 light years from Sothis. But the reason I want to be there, it's an uninhabited system, so the chances of pirates are slimmer. But what I want to show you is these are all icy rings. There's 5 icy rings. Tritium is mined from icy rings. And your ship, when you hyper jump, it doesn't just hyper jump to the star. You can have it hyper jump to the orbit of a planet. So what I'm going to do, this first planet, it's A4. I'm going to have it go into orbit on that first, either that planet or one of its moons, and like the first moon. And then when I mine the rings, at any time I can go dock with the fleet carrier, refuel, repair, if I run into an asteroid, offload the tritium onto the fleet carrier. So I think that's cool. So I'm starting to get really excited about it. At first I was kind of skeptical like everybody else, without universal cartographics and the weekly cost and all of that. But when you have nearly 8.3 billion, 10 to 25 million for what you get for it is really not that bad. So I'm going to at least get one and see how it goes. Okay. So I think that's most of what I have. We need to get out to Sothis mining and top our credits to 8.3 billion. Make sure you look to the bottom right where that subscribe button is and press that. It'll help me with YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll be notified when I produce more videos on fleet carriers. And underneath the video,
detach is good. You are go for departure.
In the description, bottom of that, you'll see options to donate. Please consider donating because we've made over 500 videos, and it takes everything we can muster. It's a huge undertaking.
Romeo Golf India. Federal flight control is now online. Follow sanctioned docking procedures within.
And underneath the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where we have over 500 videos of all kinds of everything I've done basically in the last 3 months. I have videos on it, from the engineers to gathering materials like raw materials, manufactured materials, and coated materials, material traders, going out to Dav's Hope and Jameson crash site, going to the Guardian surface site and getting the blueprints for a Guardian FSD booster. My non-laden jump range on my Python is 52 and loaded to travel, which has an extra fuel tank. It has a fuel scoop. It has a planetary hangar, and it has 4 SRVs, and has that Guardian FSD drive, all of that, and I get over 45 light year jumps. So all that's on video. The Thargoid surface site where we collected meta alloys for Felicity Farseer, probably one of the first engineers, and she does FSD drives, improves your jump range. So And there's 2 videos on 7 interdictions in 1 Super Cruise run. You should watch that. And one was just a few days ago. And I have 6 interdictions in 1 Super Cruise run in my cutter, which is one of the largest ships in Elite Dangerous, and it can be a pain because it's like flying a freight train during an interdiction. So, Sis left. So we need to get the Sothis mining and load up. We only need about 9 million is all we need to cross that 8.3 billion. I think it's like 9,800,000 or something like that. But we'll see when we get to Sothis mining. We'll look at it again. Should be pretty simple. We'll just make sure we pick the cargo for a single station so we can deliver at a single place and make over the 9 million to hit that 8.3 billion. Every 50 million I create a video. Now I record all the time in case I catch something. Like a few days ago in one of the systems in Cios, there was an anaconda in front of me and the station just opened fired on it and it blew up right in front of me. You need to watch that video. So just never know what you're going to catch on video. If you're ever interdicted and you get knocked out of Super Cruise, punch it. Punch the throttle to maximum. Boost as often as you possibly can because it has to recharge. Sis left. And you might have to use heat sinks to cool your ship down because the pirates use thermal weapons and they heat up your ship. And to get back into Super Cruise, sometimes it's too hot. So you see I have heat sinks. I can launch them by voice and cool your ship down where you can get back into Super Cruise so the pirates can interdict you again. But at least they're not firing at you when you're in Super Cruise. They have to knock you out of Super Cruise first. So be comfortable with your ship, be comfortable with your controllers, all those kind of things. So we're going to collect our cargo, we're going to deliver it to Cios and get over 8.3 billion. And that's part of preparing for fleet carriers, is we need credits. Everybody right now needs credits. And our videos have an increased viewership just since before March the 26th, and it's April the 5th, of over 500%, and has gone at times to over 800%. So people seem to be pretty anxious to collect credits. Sis left. I like taking the oldest ones first. And this is Babbage. So boom, 75 to 108 Babbage. This one. And we need... No, we need 11.5 is what we need. Sis left. And this one is a delivery 56 gold. Sis left. Babbage. Boom. 132 palladium. Is this right? We have almost 200 available. Babbage. Is this right? $59. So it really needs to be under 59, or 59 and under. Is this left? There's a 56. That's perfect. Okay, help. 56 palladium. Babbage. Is this right? So we can take 3. Babbage.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Okay. So we need 11.5. So how much did we get? Sis left. We got 4.5 and 2, so 6.5 roughly. Six, 7, 12, 7. So that's all we need. 13, 15. So we're already to 15. 15, 7. Okay. We'll have 15, 7, and all we needed was 11. So we got more than enough. Sis left. So we need to deliver to Babbage. And we'll probably even get one coming back, because usually, sometimes we get a round trip from Babbage. Is this right? Yep, we're full. So we're going to Babbage and unload over 15 million credits. Like I said, if you weren't doing videos, you could do these. Well, I think within 10 days you could have 5 billion.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
So we're off to Babbage to unload and make that 8.3 billion.
Frameshift drive charging.
Every 50 million I bring you another video and we discuss the fleet carriers and what I know about fleet carriers and the beta testing coming up.
2, 1, engage.
And they'll be available for purchase in June for your main account, unless something comes up. I mean, it could always be delayed if it caused a crash in the system.
Incoming mission critical message.
And we will be interdicted. That's pretty much guaranteed, because we're already getting the messages that they're coming after us. We got interdicted now. We'd try to slow down to the bottom of the blue range. start slowing down a little bit. A little bit more. We're preparing, and now we'll turn toward, this will cause them to start their interdictions. Yep, there's number one. It just takes practice. I've lost the interdiction a few times, but I haven't been killed since the second day that I started playing 8 months ago. Just punching it, hitting the boost as often as you can, and then get back into Super Cruise by using your heat sinks to lower the temperature so you can get back into Super Cruise. And if you move up and down, right and left, they don't hit you as often with their thermal weapons, and you don't heat up quite so fast. And we'll have at least number 3 because he's sitting there right behind us on our 6, they would say. And you can make them start by kind of going up and down erratically, and they'll usually hit you. We'll go ahead and start the interdiction so you can get it over with. Sys left. I'll usually go to Super Cruise assist. Now if one gets on our tail, we'll move away and make the Super Cruise assist deactivate, so we can go a little bit slower. We got to make sure we don't run into a planet up here, because if it's on the other side of that planet, so I usually come around where I can kind of see where the station is at. Is it on this side or is it on the other side? I think it's on this side. Looks to be on this side. We can still move away if we have to, if one pops in, because see, pirates have superpowers. They can just pop in out of thin space. Anywhere they want to just pop up. Nobody else can do that but only pirates, because they got superpowers. And they can travel the whole system in a matter of seconds because they got superpowers. So that's one of my complaints of many. They should have the same abilities as everybody else, not more, just because they're pirates. And just because the developers are pirates.
India. It's a pleasure to have you at this federal station, Commander.
Incoming mission critical message.
Sys left. So we should hit that 8.3 billion.
Automated docking confirmed.
Again, if I can do this, you can do this. I'm no super gamer. Now, I do have 2,100 hours in Elite Dangerous. So your first question is, what is wrong with him? I ask that same question sometimes. 2,100 hours. Now, there's a guy that I saw on the forums. He has 9,000 hours. What's wrong with him? Is this up? Well, at least I don't have 9,000 hours. Yeah, just give me time.
Landing gear deployed.
But doing videos, it requires a lot of time to do the videos. And like I said, our videos have been up over 800% the views, and it's over 500% right now as of this moment that I'm recording.
Landing sequence completed. Deploying ground crew.
Let's see if we can get to that 8.3 billion. Make sure you work on the reputation of the factions, or you won't see rewards as high as I'm seeing, like 10.5 million. You won't see it unless you maximize the reputation with the factions. And you won't see those little 2 and 3 unit for over $1 million or 1 million credits. I always say dollars instead of credits. You won't see those unless you donate. See right here? You can press reputation and get 3.7 billion instead of 6.2. Well, mine are all maxed out, so I don't need reputation with the factions. See these bars, they're all maxed out. You need to max yours out. Sis right. Sis right. Or you won't see the size of missions that I'm getting. See, we're already over 8.3 billion. So there's a 3 somewhere. There it is. So you will not see these deliver 3s unless you donate. If you donate to them, you'll start seeing those 2s and 3s. And they don't take much cargo space. So I kind of like those. So what I like to see is there a mission back to Sothis mining? And these big 5,000 and 6,000 units, the math doesn't come out very good. I don't like those. I like the 180 units for 10.5 million. The math comes out better on those. But we did what we wanted. We got like 15 million and 280 units, not 5,000 units. Yeah, I don't think there's any going back to Sothis, which there's not. So we did 8304. And we had to do 11, so yeah, it's about 15 million. Is this left? So how would you like to make 15 million in probably 15 to 20 minutes? If you're not doing videos like I'm doing. If you're doing videos, it'll probably take you 3 times as long. Got to go back to Sothis mining to where we pick up another load. Now that'll be the end of this video when we get there. Sis left. Okay, it's plugged in. Sis right. Sis right. And we didn't have a return mission. So let's go back. Sis left. Just want to see what I got. See, there's a 14 to New Home. Yeah, I'd like to do that one. And then I have 18 hours after that, so we're good.
Landing gear retracted.
But the next time we put together a video, it will be when we're close to 8.35 every 50 million. Now in 2 weeks I've made about 2 billion. Now if I was doing well, it wasn't even 2 weeks, it's March 26th, so it's like a week and 2 days or 7 days, or in a week I've made 2 billion, but I could probably do 3 times that if I wasn't doing videos.
Booking request before landing.
Frameshift drive charging.
She sounded kind of testy. Kind of rude.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
But be sure to look to the bottom right and press that subscribe button. It helps me with YouTube someday when I get the minimum subscribers. And it doesn't cost you anything, and you're notified when I produce more videos, which is about every day. Sometimes we get interdicted in Sothis. Sis left. And I'll do Super Cruise Assist because we don't get interdicted as much. But as soon as we land, this will be the end of this video. But I bring you the latest information that I know of from the about the fleet carriers, and I watch the forums and the information that Frontier is putting out, but they're starting to say, well, just wait till the beta and you'll see it. They say only 3% of the player base has 5 billion or more. So they kind of expect it to be those that have played a while. I also have double elite. I have Trader Elite and Explorer Elite. And in combat, I'm competent at 18%. The next rank is expert. It's when I go out and do skimmer and stinger hunting. I'm not really a combat player. That's why I look for low risk targets and the stinger skimmers. If you have cover, it's like shooting ducks in a barrel, because they can't shoot at you because they have to get a lock on your SRV, and if you have a big rock in front of you or behind a mound or kind of in a small crater, they can't shoot at you, but you can shoot at them because the turrets on an SRV are on the top. So you can just wipe them off all day long and they have no chance. But in competent, it takes like 10 kills, skimmer kills, to make 1%. So it's crazy. It's like I've done like 200 in competent and I'm only at 18%. I have one that acts like he might be a pirate. He's not getting behind us, and they usually will jump behind us. But he is acting a little strange. So we just keep an eye on them. If they pop in behind us, we move away from the planet and just take them on and then come back at the station again. And see, we're getting a gravity issue with the planet. Assist left.
Docking request granted.
And at times we have two ships that try to beat us to the hitting the request for docking. Or they're already on the pad. I feel that it just aggravates us.
Landing gear deployed.
It's just that optical course mentality that they got. They want it to be more of an obstacle instead of reality.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Well, I do appreciate you coming along. Please click on that subscribe button. It would help me greatly. And it doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me with YouTube, and you'll be notified when I produce more videos. Underneath the video in the description, you'll find ways to donate. Please consider donating, because it's very expensive for the production equipment, the audio and video equipment, the hardware and the software and the storage for all the videos and all of that. So we really need a lot of help. And under the video to the left, you'll see my YouTube channel, GFM_RDG, where there's over 500 more videos for you to watch. Plenty of content. So until the next video, thank you for watching.